So yeah, this is a quickie review of Transformers Earthspark, episode 1, the pilot, the two-part pilot, Earthspark, A Secret Legacy, Transformers Legacy. God, this is Transformers Legacy. Yeah, so it isn't really, but it's not its own thing. It's an alternate universe in the multiverse of Transformers, where apparently the events of the '86 show sort of ended with the space bridges, and the space bridge was destroyed, and the Autobots and Decepticons were trapped on Earth with Bumblebee and everybody. And Megatron and Prime, they're all trapped on Earth, so the war effectively ends. I don't know how it ended. They're going to reveal that later, I guess. But yeah, and like the IDW comics currently of the past couple of years, it's basically Megatron is changed sides to the Autobots, but his Decepticon guys are running around causing trouble, and Prime and Elita 1 go down there. Elita 1's there for some reason. I'm not sure when during the series this occurred that they lost the space bridge, but clearly it's a riff on the Cal-Cat Space Bridge series, and they're like, haha, we blew up the space bridge, so you can't use it. But no, we totally can't. So this one, we have a family living in the city of Witwicky that have apparently, is it named after Spike Witwicky because he went with Bumblebee through the space bridge and blew up? Oh, why would they name a city after? That doesn't make sense. Is it just named in his honor because whatever? The city of Witwicky. So, open with some Decepticons, Swindle and Blackout, I think, and they're attacked by a Strawberg-like bad guy, clearly an Adinger/Strawberg-like bad guy, who then takes one of the arms off of one of them and tries to make himself a cyborg, like Strawberg did in Transtech. Yeah. But in that case, the Cobra guys in Transtech had made him a cyborg because he was injured in the battle. So they put metal sheets on him because his skin was filled in sheets, and they made him the powerful robot and covered up one side of his fucked up face and everything. Ah, yes. Founded by the failure of history to destroy itself. Yes, it's as if Cal-Cat was in the writer's room with us. He wasn't, but it's like he was. It's also dedicated to the executive producer of the whole Transformer line and other Hasbro properties, G.I. Joe, Metal Pony, who died. Apparently can't. But in this story, it's a different timeline, clearly, because even though they've referenced Transformers the movie, sort of a part of the one shall stand, one shall fall thing is in there from Transformers Lexicons. So it's just like Lexicons. Yeah, this is like the series during what Lexicons was. Our version was Lexicons, Transformers Lexicons. The Hasbro version was called the Earthspark. Now Earthspark. Why is that hard to say? Earthspark. I don't know why that's hard to say. Yeah, and it has an actual kid in it as a kid, which is interesting. Just that they actually cast an actual child in the story. Usually they get an adult that sounds like a kid, like Tara Strong years ago. Yeah, but no. And they're brother and sister, and I think the father guy is of Latin descent, Spanish perhaps, and the mother is black, so they're like mixed. But the brother wants to leave town, and the sister goes after him, and they end up meeting up with Decepticon-like drone things, spider drones that chase them toward a cave thing, and they fall in the cave, and they find like a sort of a Transformer spark layer thing down there, and it somehow chooses them as Transtectors, which is a Japanese version thing, an adventure. Something. Transtectors. And so these two Transformers are born in the cave, and they have to raise them, I guess. And so the evil Adinger guy has ripped off the other Decepticon's arm, and is this one arm here, and Optimus Prime, Lita 1, and the others are going after him, and they have to figure out how to get back, and and how to get their guy back, or one of the guys got. And then the kids try not to tell the parents, but the parents find out about the Transformers. They tell the Transformers all about themselves. Turns out she's secretly part of GHOST. It's an acronym for something. And she was actually part of the whole Transformer, like, underground or whatever. And the Autobots and the Decepticons in the story are sort of a pact that is formed afterward. That's a pact. Yeah. Well, okay. Yeah. So, another reason to put Trans Tech, Trans 2, and Trans Incarnate up there. This is basically that. This is, yeah, except for the idea that Megatron would ever be a good guy, the rest of it is the pact. They're literally watching an animated version of Trans, Series 1. Yeah, and a little bit of Trans Tech in there. A little bit of Trans Tech. So yeah, but different because they don't have space bridges. It's different enough that we can get away with it. And they can get away with it too. But they're Hasbro. I'm not famous. So they're Hasbro. We just know a lot about Transformers. So it's a coincidence. An interesting coincidence. But yes. It is a kid's show, though. It's a kind of a sequel to BotBots. Yeah, it's kind of a reinvention of Cyberverse and the other one. So it's not, yeah, it's CG, and none of the voices are familiar at all. And yeah, they were going for the voices sounding more like Transformers Animated from 10, 12 years ago, which is fine. And the Megatron looks like the Osprey animated one. So this is kind of a spiritual sequel to Transformers Animated, as Transtech kind of was too. Yeah. So yeah, but this is before Megatron got born. Yeah, it's a different universe. It's part of the multiverse. It would be the BotBot universe, I guess. Yeah, so it's for kids. Yeah. So Secret Legacy, Transformers Legacy. This was yeah, the secret legacy being that they're on the planet, they're on Earth, and they've created the Terraformers. Let's call them Transtectors, that or call them Nebulons and Headmasters. You could do that too. They're essentially sort of binary bonded to them. The original G1, not binary gender, but maybe binary gender bonded to them. Yeah. So. Yeah, so Nickelodeon did the earlier 2 years ago the other one, the Siege War for Cybertron, the darker one. This is the more lighthearted kiddie one. So yeah, so I'm not too familiar with Cyberverse and Bumblebee the series, but Bumblebee the live action movie was good. I'm assuming this has no connection with Transformers: The Rise of the Beasts in 2023. Assuming it has no connection to that. Of course, as you know from Bizarre Experience, of the Michael Bay movies, we seem to have been involved in that as well during the making of Transtech back in the day. We weren't directly at all, but for some reason, yeah, it's uncanny, and you know. But here's so far they have a Strawberg Attinger kind of guy. I think they were thinking of Attinger from the Michael Bay movie, though. So we'll give them that. We'll say they were thinking of the guy from the Michael Bay movie. They weren't thinking of Strawberg from Transtech. Because he doesn't sound like Strawberg. Otherwise, you'd have a German accent, and you'd be like the failure of history to destroy itself. So we don't know how far in the future this story takes place, either. And the Transformers Animated was set in the 22nd century. 22nd century. So in the 22nd century. So yeah, yeah, it's all right. 1 hour pilot. So that's my brief quickie review of all the Spark. It's odd. Yeah, that the humans have developed their own Transformers, that kind of thing. And sure, why not? But I would not have made Megatron a good guy.